This evening on an Afternoon Express edition inspired by beauty, we sit down with interior designer Farai Chinya as he takes us on a tour of one of his Gauteng projects.
We meet step-up movie star Briana Evigan to share her Cape Town experience and attend the preview of her new documentary.
Step into the world of dance with Kitty Phetla as she shows us her preparation for her Dreamscapes performance with Joburg Ballet.
Successful jewellery designer and entrepreneur Kirsten Goss reveals what has inspired her successful career.
And we chat to one of our good friends from Absa to learn more about their House of Beauty campaign.
Hello again and welcome to Afternoon Express. We hope that you are feeling great and are ready to be inspired by beauty.
Absolutely, Ayanda. Now you would have noticed that today we're in a brand new location. We're in Gauteng, about to explore a beautiful picturesque property of interior designer Farai Chinya. Now he was able to put this masterpiece together for a client of his, and today we're about to enjoy it. This project looks absolutely magical. Can you tell me a little bit more about where we find ourselves today?
Yes, so today we are in Pretoria East. This is one of our projects that we did a couple of years ago, and I'm really excited to show you the rest of it.
Can you just talk me through the layout of the home from the steps up?
Definitely. So it's a very open plan home. What we then did is demarcate the different areas depending on the function that we needed in that space. And as we walk through, I'll then show you how we managed to do that.
Being in the heart of Pretoria, it doesn't feel like Pretoria. It's giving a barn-like vibe.
Oh, good eye, definitely. So this is a barn-style type of architecture. Some people call it farmhouse style, but we've modernized it. What we did is we took the very same structure that you'd find in a traditional barn, and then we have the pitched roofs. Instead of ceilings, we then just let it have these 5-meter tall double volumes. So the beautiful thing with that is that it creates a very nice, airy look and feel, but also it's quite warm and intimate. Let me take you to the first entertainment space.
Let's go.
As you can see with the bar, what we wanted to create was a space that was going to take the outside in. We've got our botanicals creeping into the space. Nice sitting that is not necessarily conventional. You can sit on either side, facing the outside, taking it all in. And with those elements that I'm talking about, we then put them in the bar. We've got the stone counters to soften it, LED lighting at the base, and hints of the colors that we have in the main house as well.
Not only looking at the main house, but also this entertainment space we find ourselves in right now, materiality and a texture. Can you just unpack that for me and how you're able to display it in such a beautiful space?
Definitely. We like to have a layered look. So with the layered look, we'll have some textures where you can actually feel it's bumpy. And then we come here onto our velvets that are a little bit smooth. And then we also have cladding that is leather on the bar. And we add other textures like your stone, marble. What then that creates is a full look that is quite layered, that brings out all the beautiful textures in terms of design.
Absolutely beautiful. But I think it's now time to explore the main living space.
We are now in the first lounge, which is the kids' lounge. With this space, as you can see, we've got a little bit darker tones, but also some brights. What we did is to try to layer the space so that it's also kids-friendly. We took inspiration from different artists that we work with. Behind us, this is Tabiso Takamela. Some of the colors, you can see them popping out into our furniture as well. With all the things that we do, we make sure that when you get to your home, it's not like any other home that you're seeing anywhere. So these lights are from a company called Streamlight, and with them, you just tell them what you want. They can be able to find it for you. If they can't find it, they'll make it for you.
And right now we find ourselves in, it feels like the formal dining area.
What we did, we carry on with the different textures. So we have that texture outside the boucle. We have brought it back. This time in a different tone. And what we did with the dining chair is that we then had leather. So we've got a two-tone, also two-material dining chair. With our dining tables, we then use the same wood, the oak, with just a nice, beautiful twilight monocoat. And because you've got such a beautiful dining table, what you don't want to do is cluster it with a lot of things. You just put in 2 vases just as an accessory so that the dining table remains the feature. We've put our kitchen literally in the heart of the home. So the kitchen divides the 2 spaces, our formal living room and the kids' lounge. Next to it, the dining room, of course. So easy for serving. After you've cooked, you just go straight to the dining. What we did with the kitchen is also play with the different materials that we have. So we've got our marble tops. At the back, we've got display units, some of them with glass so that you've got those beautiful glasses you want to showcase. And to keep it clean and simple, we've integrated our appliances. Welcome to our formal lounge.
Being in the formal lounge, the very first thing that caught my eye was this incredibly stunning occasional chair that you've duplicated also on the other side of the formal lounge.
You are quite right. We've got 2 of them in the same space, but also we picked up on the materials that we used in other spaces in the house. Instead of just having it as a plain fabric, what we've done is quilted this one. That's why you've got this honeycomb design in the front. And on the back, we actually have like a wood that is bent. And then we just like smoked it black to just pick up on some of the darker elements that we have in the space. Yes.
Another thing that I'm completely obsessed with are these overhead lamps.
These are actually overhead. You can call them overhead. We call them floor standing lamps.
Okay.
And you will not find them anywhere else. We specifically designed them for this house. Because we've got like big ceilings with like nice overhangs, we wanted something that would create an intimacy gradient.
What is your overall design approach?
My overall design approach is it must be beautiful, 1. Number 2, it must be functional. 3, comfortable. And number 4, let it be a space where you either entertain well, rejuvenate well, recuperate well, or just be happy in the space.
I'm very familiar with an L-shaped couch, but
Yes.
I've never seen a couch that has got multiple seating areas, cushions, and joinery aspects that you're able to enjoy.
If you want the couch to sit in this particular form, you can make it sit in this particular form. But all the pieces are individual pieces, so you can move it around if you get bored of a configuration like this.
What was your design approach when it comes to the multiple bedrooms that are in this home?
So the design approach to this particular room is the same with every other room, where to sit down with the client. And this client was difficult. It's an 8-year-old. In my head, I am thinking cartoon characters, Superman, and I am waiting and bracing for it. He then says he likes black, he likes blue, hints of color here and there, make it simple. I could not have agreed more. With all kids' rooms, my brief to clients is always to say, keep it neutral. If they want something playful, put it in a scatter cushion. Why? It's easy to replace a scatter cushion. The same thing that we did, we then made this headboard with a little bit of the darker piping, a black back wall, and then accents of just LED lighting. On the far corner, we have got the reading nook.
And here we have it, our own personal tour of King Farai Interior Design's home. This home encapsulates all things comfort, functionality, and absolute beauty. Thank you so much for having us.
It's been a pleasure.
After the break, we meet actress Briana Evigan in Cape Town to get the scoop on her documentary, Circles of Connection.
Our pharmacies are on the front line of healthcare. This is Pharmacy of the Week.
The reason I chose to serve the community is that I personally really do have a passion for what I do, and me serving is probably the highest use of my time. So I'm humbled and I'm always honored to be able to be a pharmacist. It is something that we take seriously because it's a passion that I really try and live out daily. The community is really important to us because they are the integral part of our business. We can't have a pharmacy or business running without community and without clients. It's very important to myself, and I think my amazing team as well, that the minute someone steps through our doors, they really feel as if they're part of this family. Firstly, again, we're honored to be able to do what we do, and it's our responsibility to treat clients and community with respect, make them feel welcomed and make them feel loved. I think being brave to me means when a patient really has the strength to face fear or difficulty, and when they really have that courage to be willing to learn how to handle a difficult situation or to be willing to learn more about to handle a specific health condition.
Pharmacy of the Week, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
Welcome back. Now, I think that we can all agree that we live in one of the most beautiful places in the world. There aren't many countries like South Africa, and many people wish they could experience it themselves, like American actress Briana Evigan.
Absolutely. Now, she is no stranger to the silver screen, but is most well known for her Step Up franchise in films like Step Up 2, The Streets, and Step Up All In, where she displayed her electrifying dance moves. Karishma Bastey was there to meet her in person.
Today I'm on Muizenberg Beach to meet up with Hollywood actress Briana Evigan. She danced her way into our hearts in Step Up to the Streets. And today we're going to chat all about her latest documentary, Circles of Connection. You've been here for a few days now. What have been some of your highlights?
I'm actually out here promoting a documentary that we filmed for Abundant Village, my nonprofit, through Move Me Studio, our production company. So I've been doing magazine shoots and all sorts of promo stuff and meeting amazing people. We also created boots. So they're called the social impact shoes, and we put them on when you want to go change the world. And on the bottom they say love and trust and kind and happy. So wherever you step, you leave your footprint.
You're here to promote your new movie, Circles of Connection. Can you tell me what this documentary is about and why was it so important for you to tell the story?
Circles of Connection, I mean, Abundant Village, you know, we always say it's not just a place, but it's a way of being. And I think that this documentary really captures the essence of what Abundant Village is, the people are, who they are behind it, and the importance of connection, coming together, dealing with healing trauma and generational trauma, and connecting youth to the elders and bringing that all into play at the same time.
The Abundant Village project is more than just an NGO. It's about encouraging people to dream. How do you bring that vision to life?
The biggest challenge is that basic human needs are not being met around the world, and most of the world is in survival mode. I say that a lot because I've seen it throughout a lot of my travels. If you can meet basic human needs, being water and food, and then energy, so that allows people to have data or Wi-Fi or some sort of connection to the outside world to learn and get an education and communicate, then that can drop people into the state of dreaming and having the capacity and the capability and the opportunity to have a career, to have success, to take things to the next level that they've always dreamed of.
I thought we could do a little yoga session on the beach.
Awesome, I would love that. And then I'm gonna teach you some dance moves.
Oh yes, I'm so in for that. Let's get going.
Okay, so now that we're warmed up, shall we do a few little dance moves?
Oh yes, I'm game. Yes.
Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna switch with you. All right, so I normally obviously do hip hop, but I think this sets the mood a little better to do some kind of creative movement with breath.
Love it.
One of my favorite things. You know, the famous step up dance move is that breathing chest thing that everybody always wants me to do. So instead, let's do this. Take your hand, breathe in and out, and think about your body constantly moving. So when you come out, it's like almost being in slow motion. And do big, deep breaths. So now think of yourself literally with the wind, right? And then you can move. So you can go forward. So then you can start with your feet, bringing your leg out. kind of like yoga, right? But everything's fluid. And back and forth.
Yay! I love that. That's so cool. Yay,
Awesome.
amazing.
And that fluidity echoes in the fashions Briana modeled for the Absolute Woman magazine, who paid tribute to her achievements as a Hollywood actress, documentary producer, and philanthropist.
First photo shoot up with Absolute Women for the cover, which has been amazing. I'm like obsessed with all the clothes, and it's been a little while since I've had a photo shoot, so this is awesome. Running through the forest and in my favorite places in the bush. Yeah, doing what I love. So it's good to be back.
Editor and publisher Anya Hill is a fan.
We are here today shooting Briana's cover story for the upcoming issue of Absolute Woman magazine. The concept for today is obviously putting a spotlight on all the amazing work that Briana is doing with Abundant Village, as well as our upcoming documentary. She's just such an inspiration to any woman out there.
Photographer Tegan Smith captured the moments.
We are on the Rondebosch Common and we are shooting kind of boho chic mood board for the magazine today. Briana is amazing to work with. She is so comfortable in front of the camera. She has a great smile, glowing skin, and we are blessed with the most amazing lighting today as well.
So why did they decide to put a spotlight on Briana?
Briana is such a fun person and so inspiring. All the work that she does at Abundant Village with the people and the animals.
I am so excited to be at the Circles of Connection premiere. I know Briana has poured her heart and soul into this, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So follow me.
I'm Briana, if we haven't met yet. And I grew up in Los Angeles. I started as a dancer, a musician, and an actor. And as an actor, I fell in love with the power of storytelling and how it transforms people. At 25, I hit this just big old rock bottom. Ended up feeling really alone every night and empty. And I was at the height of my career as an actor, but something was missing. Everything made sense. Everything was tangible for just a second. Yeah, changed the trajectory. That was kind of what birthed Abundant Village for me. And it's been the most beautiful gift. And Abundant Village is working. The project is working. So we focus on water, food, energy, childcare, education, job opportunities. And if we can meet those basic human needs that people are missing around the world, then we can get into the dream world. We can have careers, we can have success, we can have opportunity. There's so much talent out here, you know, so much of it's being missed, and make Abundant Village a global mission.
What are your thoughts on the work that Briana is doing with Abundant Village?
There's so much need in this world, but luckily enough, there are people like Briana that are willing to put up their hand and say, you know what, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to get my hands dirty, I'm going to bring hope.
Just to see the joy on those kids' faces and to know that there is a future, to know that there's people caring about them from other sides of the world for this greater good. Gosh, I mean, isn't that why we're here?
Briana, wow, that was absolutely incredible. How do you feel tonight went?
I feel great. I love sharing what we do. I love getting responses, even just hugging you and feeling you have an emotional reaction to it. We did our job. You know, on the storytelling side, we want to make people be able to feel, empathize, and have an experience like we get to have when we're on the grounds. If I've done my job, the rest will do its own job, and it's not up to me. So, yeah, I'm happy.
I cannot wait to see you and this project fly to greater heights. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for everything.
What an inspiring evening. Briana is a true force of nature, and I cannot wait to see all the amazing work she does in the future.
Together, we are changing humanity, becoming a force to bring healing to the planet.
Thank you, Briana, for spending your time with the Afternoon Express family. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And now after the break, we move into the world of ballet with pioneer ballerina and now choreographer Kitty Phetla. Briana has made it in the world of breakdancing. Now we focus on a South African dancer from the world of ballet, or Kitty Phetla. Kitty is an inspirational icon who has received international acclaim for her grace and beauty on the stage.
Now, Kitty teamed up with the Joburg Ballet for their first production of Dreamscapes. This program featured 3 beautifully distinct ballets, including Kitty's creation, The Underworld and Elsewhere.
Now, we were invited for one of her rigorous warm-ups and rehearsals. Let's take a look.
Kitty, thank you so much for having us in your space. What a beautiful experience it is to be here. We cannot wait to talk more about The Underworld and Elsewhere. Can you please tell us about the core concepts that went into the creation of this and how it ties in beautifully with South African heritage?
For me, The Underworld and Elsewhere is a very universal piece because universally we have to get in touch with our true consciousness. And the question lies in there, are we really in touch with our true consciousness? Are we present in the moment? Do we listen to the silence? The answers are always in the stillness, in the silence. And our gut feeling is always right. And essentially those are messages from elsewhere, from our ancestors, from the underworld. Essentially it talks about the ability to sense messages around you, to be able to communicate with those messages around you. And I explore that transcendence through the oracle, the moon, water as a sign of cleansing as well, because at some point in our lives, water is always a sign of cleansing. And I love exploring that a lot because I feel a certain level of closeness to water. And for me, that just is symbolic to a new beginning, to life.
I see my tenure at Joburg Ballet as an opportunity to open the company up in terms of access and lowering barriers for entry for both audience members to enjoy this beautiful art form, as well as for young people to enter into the space, enjoy the education and training that we offer at Joburg Ballet, as well as provide a pipeline into the professional company from grassroots communities around South Africa and Johannesburg. That then speaks to creating a ballet company that reflects all parts of South Africa. And similarly for audiences, I think Dreamscapes is a perfect example of that, where we've placed Laissez-Faire, a beautiful romantic classical ballet work, alongside 2 new neoclassical works by South African choreographers. One work, Kitty Phetla's Underworld and Elsewhere, by incredibly well-known, talented Kitty Phetla, and then Dane Hurst, our new interim artistic director, creating his first work for Joburg Ballet, a jazz ballet using the music of Kyle Shepherd that tells a uniquely South African story linking to the cultures and dynamic of Sophiatown, District 6 and South End.
Our program finishes with Kitty Phetla's The Underworld and Elsewhere, and this is the work that we are proud to present to our audiences because Kitty is a celebrated ballerina here in South Africa, and for her voice to be celebrated as a choreographer, it's really important for us as a company moving forward to honor our artists that have come through the ranks within the company and to now be creating work, taking the ballet movement language into a new sphere. It's a true test of grit of the artists, and I think from the beginning of the work through to the middle, through to the end, it's a wonderful journey for these dancers. It's a mountain for them to climb.
Intentionality was the core of what created this. Can you talk to us about the inspiration behind doing that?
So I think it's really amazing the word that you use, intentionality, and I feel like I really want the audience to be intentional. I'm so conscious now about, the senses that we're not in touch with, the ability to hear and listen at the same time, because you hear the sound and then you listen. And from listening, you comprehend and then you react, So for me, that's very, very important. And I want the audience to feel that. I want the audience to feel happy, sad, question, seek in that moment and be able to answer the question by what they hear and see and listen around them. Yeah, so it's just a beautiful piece of transcendence. And the dancers really, really bring that to life because I believe everybody is guided in their spirituality in any form.
There are so many touches on the past, on the present, on the future. What inspiration came to make those ties flow together so beautifully?
It's beautiful that we have a past, but I'm very much guided in the present, hence consciousness, because as human beings, we are never truly conscious in the moment. And that is very, very important for me, especially now getting older. And then what comes, it's always great to worry about the future, but are we truly embodying this moment? And I want people to always ask themselves that question. Am I truly conscious about this decision or this move that I'm making right now? Am I present in this very moment? Because right now, as I speak to you, I feel very present in here and alive to talk to you. So for me, that's very, very important.
The role that I'm playing in the underworld and elsewhere is the underworld. For me, I'm a classically trained ballet dancer, so doing contemporary is challenging, but I really enjoy it. But I do feel it takes me a bit longer to get used to because it's not the norm. But working with Kitty, it's really nice to experience contemporary and neoclassical, and I do feel like I'm pushing myself and growing, not only as a dancer, but also on this journey of self-discovery.
To be honest, I'm very excited. It's nice. Tomorrow's going to be the opening night. Today we have the final dress rehearsal. We are part of Kitty's piece, and I think we're doing the pas de deux, myself and Bruno. It's very excited. She takes very hard on every step, especially the pas de deux. The way we do the grips and everything is completely different than normally we do.
For me personally, I feel very introspective because the music and the costumes, the sets, the projection at the background brings like a very intimate environment, you know, and we can't wait. It's not like that easy on our bodies, but I'm sure the audience is gonna love it.
Now, obviously, you are this incredible dancer, now working as a choreographer. How did you work with your lead dancer to ensure that your vision is met in reality?
So I have a very close relationship with the Joburg Ballet dancers, and it's been so amazing work with them, and also sharing a closeness with them as a dancer, and now having to share closeness with them as a choreographer and a creator. And I just think they were so forthcoming, because some, you know, have had the experience of working with me as a choreographer before. The true understanding of my language in movement, they just took it with open arms. And that for me was so, so important, and thus I could feed from them. And I really appreciated so much how they were so forthcoming in experiencing the movement, listening to the movement, hearing the movement.
This is one thing I enjoy about the arts. There's beautiful collaboration and understanding of this is the vision and this is where we're headed. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
The legacy that Joburg Ballet hopes to achieve here is really positioning Johannesburg and Joburg Ballet globally. We are about to take a tour to the United Kingdom at the end of October, a work that includes Danehurst's Resonance to the Linbury Theatre at the Royal Opera House at the end of October. As one of those first steps, we are just about to do a Swan Lake tour in July and August that's touring nationally. I think we act as an ambassador for the city of Johannesburg, and we take that role very seriously. There is so much positive work being done, and the power of the arts as a tool for that is an incredibly powerful thing that we don't take for granted. Next year, we celebrate 25 years for this company, and I don't see it stopping in any sense. If anything, it's just ramping up.
Wowzers, what a mind-blowing performance, an impressive compilation of ballets, the kind of brilliance you can expect from the Joburg Ballet Company.
Absolutely, but after the break, we'll be taking a look at Takealot's House of Beauty campaign sponsored by Absa, as well as taking a sneak peek at some of the beautiful jewellery pieces Kirsten Goss creates. We're shifting gears to see how beauty and business align. We get a front row seat to see how Absa helped bring the very first Takealot's House of Beauty to life. Let's take a look.
Sometimes we need a reminder of how important it is for us to celebrate our uniqueness. And Candace Thurston, Brand and Marketing Managing Executive from Absa, along with her team, allowed us the opportunity to do so at the Take a Lot House of Beauty experience. Candace, welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you so much, Ayanda. I always love spending time with you.
It is always a blast. For somebody that wasn't there, can you please tell them what the Take a Lot House of Beauty event was all about?
Well, the Take a Lot House of Beauty, brought to you by Absa Awards, was a 3-day lifestyle and beauty experience that really gave attendees a chance to be part of lifestyle demos, beauty demos, getting samples into their bag, and amazing masterclasses. It brought a community together to truly celebrate their uniqueness of beauty and what truly makes them special.
Now, a lot of us have come to know Absa as the bank that supports sports, but this time around, you've chosen the beauty route. Why the change?
Well, you know that Absa is all about empowering stories, and we truly believe that people must really drive their passion points. So we've invested in sport, like running through Run Your City, mountain biking through Cape Epic, and quite recently golf through the Absa Invitational, which is a female golf tournament. And we said, well, let's spice it up a bit. There's such a large community of people that love the beauty industry and the lifestyle industry. So let's really find those passion points, not only in sport, but also in beauty. Ayanda, we had such a good turnout at the masterclass, and what was so special about it was really bringing finance and beauty together. And you might ask yourself, how? Well, we truly believe that when you're looking at the industry of beauty, you really do need to understand your financial spaces, whether it be how to save, whether it be how to drive your credit score, build up your credit score, or how do you apply for a loan to start that business. We had such a good turnout with an amazing panel that really had conversations between influencers, content creators, beauty bloggers, and some financial experts. So we really loved that Absa is not just about driving passion points, but also being able to educate people on financial literacy and education, because we truly believe we want to walk that journey with everybody to really understand how they can build their financial health.
Now, over the weekend, Absa had an activation booth available where attendants could win some rewards. What are some of the rewards that they could go home with?
So firstly, for anyone that attended, they stood a chance to spin and win a Take a Lot voucher. And on the Saturday and Sunday, we had one winner that won 10,000 Rand cash. Yes, in their pockets. Secondly, if you were spotted in a little bit of red, you got to win a Take a Lot voucher. And if you spotted one of our influencers, you got to do a beauty dash online. So it was truly exciting, and everybody really appreciated how Absa gave them a chance to truly be part of Take a Lot and getting some cash. But we had a little bit more for anybody that was at home and didn't have a chance to come. They could go on to Take a Lot for 3 days and shop to get 30% cash back from Absa Rewards for those 3 days. And it was absolutely amazing because we got the buzz going. And lastly, if they followed us on our Instagram, they got to win a 15,000 Rand makeover. So I'm like, what more do you need? We bring it.
And that is so, so true to the Absa brand that I've come to know and love so much, catering for each and every one of us because our story really does matter. Thank you so much for joining us today, Candace.
Thank you, Ayanda.
Oh, what a beautiful reminder that beauty is a platform and that every unique form of beauty is a story waiting to be told. You know, the saying goes, investing in your beauty is a priceless investment in yourself, and you can never make too many investments into your own life.
Absolutely. And the jewelry you wear can also redefine what it means to be beautiful. Jewelry designer Kirsten Goss believes in standing out and being adventurous to show the world who you really are.
Fortunately for us, Kirsten gave us an inside look into what defines her creations and her career.
Taking a study of materials and metals and transforming that knowledge into sought-after pieces of jewelry, Kirsten Goss has made her international business a jewel in the crown of modern South African design.
The Kirsten Goss jewellery journey started in London back in 2002, very grown up this year, and subsequent to that we've opened several stores in South Africa. Our stores are all extremely modern, little glass capsules in the centers. You can't miss us. I mean, it's bright yellow and beautiful curved glass, very Wes Anderson aesthetic, and we aim to thrill. I've always had that instinct to want to challenge boundaries with my jewelry. So in that sense, it's remained the same. But obviously, one goes through phases. One goes through minimalist phases, maximalist phases. I think ultimately, it depends, like anything else, what you feel like wearing on the day. But I do love the idea, and what we're pushing more and more is to be more adventurous with fine jewelry. So pushing boundaries with your conventional stones that people would assume to be fairly simplistic, and actually making more dramatic, impactful, unusual, experimental pieces in solid gold with precious or semi-precious gemstones. This is a great example of a new collection, something that's completely unconventional, asymmetrical styles, one-off earrings, and quite maximalist, really. Lots of depth, loads of different gemstones, all completely individually considered and set. And then something as simple and classic as our lock earrings, which we've been doing for 20 odd years. And you can see something that you could take through every season for year after year after year. So very minimalist, more maximalist. This is our lifesaver necklace, and we've been doing this for many years. And this is something that allows you to change up your look. So you can remove all of the little pendants and change your vibe depending on how you're feeling. So this chain, although it is very demure, it has the complexity of having this detail which we've put in the chain, punctuated it with a little punky spike, and then this beautiful chrysoprase stone that's been set into the gold pendant. So you can see statement earring, but simple lines, and then a little bit of complexity over here on the décolletage.
Focusing on limited edition once-off pieces appeals to Kirsten's imagination. She uses a wide range of gemstones.
Rings are a big feature in our collection, but we're always trying to push the boundaries, push the envelope with regards to setting styles, the designs themselves, so they almost look fairly light-hearted or novel, and yet they are still fine and precious. One of my most favorite rings, which is currently on exhibition in our Cape Town store, is the acacia ring that we designed for an auction at Christie's in London several years back. And it was to raise money for Save the Rhino Foundation. So we decided to work with the motif of the acacia tree that the rhino loves to stand underneath. And so we have 3 layers of the acacia tree, with the white diamonds, champagne diamonds, and black diamonds. And then underneath one of the layers of these branches, we have a little hand-sculpted white rhino in 18-karat gold. And underneath, we have the black diamond for the black rhino.
With her own in-house team of goldsmiths to manufacture every piece, Kirsten designs and conceptualizes every one of her collections.
I had 2 very interesting grandmothers. One liked to decorate everything, and one was very Scandinavian, very minimalist, hence my kind of dichotomous design style. And I was fascinated that there was a degree that I could do in jewelry design. And Stellenbosch University offered this course in the Fine Arts department. It also had the gemology aspect, which I loved, the chemistry angle, and so for me, being kind of geeky and creative at the same time was quite appealing combination. I attribute a lot of what I have been able to maintain in terms of ideas to that course. It was 4 years of really, really quite intense experimentation. And truly, it makes one have to consider every aspect so much that I feel like I have a plethora of ideas that not even in this lifetime will I be able to manifest because of how many possibilities there are. I like to have all my color and scraps all around me so that I can see some of the stones and I can actually scribble a shape or a form down, color something in. Then we would place some of the stones onto some of the forms that I have come up with, and we will then create vectors out of them, digitize them, and then I can manipulate them on my screen so that I can get more possibilities out of each form that I have designed and see which would work best as a composite or on its own. So it starts off very practical, very basic, and develops into something that's a little bit more user-friendly for the goldsmiths to work with.
Whilst growing her business, Kirsten has also raised a happy family of daughter Farron and sons Oscar and Cosmo.
Kids definitely keep one grounded, keeps it real, keeps it entertaining, keeps us on our feet. It's a wonderful adventure to have with your children, especially that mine have grown up around the design process. They've been in and amongst the wonderful shoots and the shows, and my daughter grew up being at London Fashion Week with me at 2 months old, sleeping under the table alongside me. So they've been my guiding lights, my muses, and definitely the reality of life is evident with kids, isn't it?
I love my mum's jewellery so much. I've got a few special pieces from my mum that I wear, these 3 rings that I have, and necklaces and earrings that were all gifts from her, all very sentimental and personal, so I take a lot of pride in wearing them. Growing up around my mum has impacted me in really, really profound ways. It's a very different kind of household setting where we've got a lot of chaos, but really interesting chaos. It kind of teaches you to be adaptable and think quick on your feet. She's a great influence in teaching us to be assertive and confident, being a businesswoman, as well as being very gentle and kind as a mother. So it's a really interesting balance, and she's a really, really wonderful influence on all of us as our almighty matriarch.
To young talents out there who would like to achieve what she has, this Wonder Woman has some advice.
Don't chase the smoke and mirrors. Do something with your life that feels worthwhile and that gives you a lot of joy and a lot of excitement to get out of bed every day. I think that would be the greatest thing for my kids, and obviously for our business to continue in that vein of originality. Don't be a copy, stick to that original plan, which comes from within, really.
Kirsten Goss has channeled the design flair of her grandmothers into a luxury legacy to pass on to her children and to inspire a generation of creative women.
How amazing! So many beautiful pieces. It's hard to settle on just one. After the break, Farai Chinya speaks to us about collaboration and growth within the interior design space.
We're back on the couch with interior designer Farai Chinya, and he is about to speak to us about collaborations and longevity in interior design. Farai, you've been able to break down quite eloquently the space we find ourselves in. But when we kind of dig deeper into the client brief, what is it and how do you envision it coming to life?
I wish I could say there was a set standard of what a client brief would be, but it's always different depending on what the space is going to be used for. Is it a family home? Who comes to the house? Is it an entertainment space? Does the client host? Depending on what the end result is going to be. In terms of residential, we always ask the questions, what is the end result? What is it that you want to achieve? What must it feel like? And who are you going to be bringing to the space? That then will in turn help us to put together a brief and a design that will suit the client.
I'm so glad that you spoke about spaces, because I mean, today we're in this beautiful, luxurious and massive space, but some of us with the smaller apartments still want this kind of feel when we come home. What are some tips that you can give to us to make sure that our spaces are lovely to come back to?
The design process is exactly the same. Whether it's a big space, a small space, we still do the client brief. We ask you, what do you want your space to feel like? What must it be? What do you want to feel like yourself when you get into the space or when you leave the space? So we do the same process, and some of the tips that we use for smaller spaces is exaggerating them. For instance, the use of mirrors opens up spaces, connects spaces, and also makes it look a little bit more luxurious compared to using a smaller piece of furniture. So from client to client, space to space, we then will be able to see what really we can work with in terms of like layering the look. So also things like wall fixtures, extra large artworks, they make the space seem a little bit bigger.
But coming off of small spaces compared to big spaces into collaboration, there's an architect, there's a landscape designer, and then there's yourself, the interior designer. How important is that relationship and collaboration between all three?
Interesting enough, all of our work is collaborative. It might not be with another designer, but it's always with another industry professional or a supplier or a manufacturer. So with all of this, if we can look at, for instance, how we do our work, some projects we start them as complete builds, complete full turnkey projects. So that means we have to collaborate with the architect, we have to collaborate with the fenestation guys, we have to collaborate with the roofing guys, we have to collaborate literally with everyone. So to make our job successful, we definitely need to collaborate and put together a comprehensive design that will then suit the client.
I've clearly noticed that every single room in the space is about experience. There's a place for people to sit down and communicate. The living area is completely open from one end to another. How do you create these experiences within a beautiful home?
That's a good question, and I'm glad that you noticed that every space is quite different in terms of the walkthrough with the spaces. What we have done is to make sure that we've got distinctive pieces that we have in all the different spaces. We've got 2 lounges in this area, but we noticed that with the kids' lounge, we've got a little bit darker tones. Kids tend to jump on couches. We also brought some dark elements to this side so that the 2 spaces, in as much as they are in the same area, they're distinctive, but they still connect. So accents of same colors or accents of the accents colors are also found in both lounges. Hence, we're creating the very same beautiful experience in the 2 different spaces, but they're quite different.
That Farai fingerprint, being in a space that you've been able to create and put together so beautifully, I get a breath of you. It is you inherently. So how is someone able to differentiate one design from a Farai design?
What we do with our spaces is we always try to bring love. So when you look at it, it's a romantic story that is being told. Everything is considered, it's layered, but it's not overwhelming. When you see this, then you see that we were there.
You speak from a place of passion. It's been so beautiful to have this conversation with you. I've taken down notes from everything that you spoke about today, and I'll be using it in my own space before giving you a call. Thank you so much for joining us today, Farai.
It is an absolute pleasure.
And to you, our all-important viewers, please let us know on our socials which space you found the most beautiful this evening.
Yes, and make sure you use that hashtag Afternoon Express in all of your comments. Please do make sure you catch us next week, Tuesday at 6 p.m. only on S3. And if you do happen to miss our weekly episode, you can catch the repeat every single Sunday at 8:30 a.m. in the morning. But until next week, we'll see you soon. Bye. Join us next Tuesday on Afternoon Express as leading architect Gregory Katz shows us around his stunning home.
Entertainment star Pearl Thusi goes on vacation with her daughter Thandolwethu Mokoena in Mozambique. And SAMA award-winning performer Busiswa Kulu shares her message of hope and inspiration this Easter.
That's Tuesday at 6 p.m. with repeats on Sundays at 8:30 a.m. only on S3.
Another feel-good production.